I should do, I should tell, I should want vibrations, every buckers. May your mind, buckers, and souls be old. May your arms be sound. May your buckers be leavened off the ground. When we keep to the breath, the orth, the moth, or the seon, the soul of Ra guides and keeps you all. Ayan Matata, Elaise, El Say I, Amen Ra, Christ, or a chaplain. I am truth awareness, true talk. Can be a part of the greatest transfer of Ma'al, that's intelligence, summonology, to Angodu. This is sound logic. And with all that being said, being a fool is absolutely your choice. Today is Ray 1818. Go to Google, go to Apple, get on the Kagadora Ra's official timeline. Go to Jesus.com, GESOOS.com. Sign up. Get your initiation tool bonuses, the iBucket to Omen, and the Mithorian Kagadora. You can print it, you can display it, you can order it, have it delivered. Lots of books, lots of apparel. AmenRod.com to get that. You get access to the Erectionary, because dictionary words die your erection. And of course, to Angodu, we speak motion. I don't consent to draconian state, nor should you hashtag that in your post. Thought is the spores that spawns intelligence. Identifungi.org. And of course, mental health is your spiritual compass. You need to orientate to Baal. Get calibrated, solarized. SavedBySound.com. All right. On 1818, a 9-9. Guess what Ra had me doing? I didn't even realize the impact of this until it was already all done. And that's how Ra always works. All right, I just get these triggers to do shit. I don't even know I was gonna do it before I did it. I just get these, how can I say, emotions, these callings, to be more precise. And I was called to break the Neptune spell. First, I thought I was just wanting to figure it out. I don't know why, right? Just came across, oh, Neptune, I wonder what that really means, right? And so when I decoded it, it means negate thoughts of compiling parasites. The trident, it means Tara, souls detached from entitlement. And then when I thought about that, and studied a little bit about King Neptune and the trident and its ties to Roman mythology. But knowing what I know these are all egregors. These are all beings of the mind, to conquer the mind, to make you consent to being spent. So we reverse that code on a 9-9. As we can see, the oceans are bubbling. I want to make one thing clear, all of these beings belong to Ra. But during times of conflict, when you have energies on either side, you create a free radical. It could either be a proton or an electron. You create a neutron, a nucleus. It can be used by other force if they can turn you into fear, because that's what these beings look for. Anything that's not making a sound is consumed by fire. It's just because you're making noise, you're talking, and you're making, what you might think is a sound. You're not sound because you live by symbology. So as this code was reversed and an egregor created in its place, some pretty miraculous things occurred. When I did the gematria on Enepa'on, which means entity entitled to compile parasite life, you get a 5. Right there. Okay, Enepa'on is 5. Okay, so remember, when I did all of this, even creating the creature and all these types of things, I was figuring out this after the fact. There's no way if I said, as I found out, Neptune is also 5. There's no way I could assemble letters to equal 5 and be true to sound. So I had to be true to sound. And when you're true to sound, everything is sound. So I created an entity to go on top of this false entity called Neptune. And it was just so perfect. It was just nuts. So we're going to go back to Enepa'on. So Enepa'on. N is for entity, and entity has entitlements. Like I explained in the other video, the artificial construct, making a dead thing a corporation and calling it an entity. Meanwhile, it's dead. You have to give it life. It gets its entitlements through you. And then they have certain provisions or privileges or graces that they allow for people who are operating these corporate structures. Right? But an entity is from Ra specifically. It's a Bakara Ba-N. Like you say, Caribbean. Entity entitled to compile parasite life. So this means everything. Not just the operators, the principalities of darkness, or the principalities who are trapped in darkness, or they're humans that follow their religions and institutions. Okay? Everything that I'm doing is being in scriptures. It just couldn't have been imagined to be happening this way. And this way, meaning by Ami. Everything that has been conjured up is being reversed. Everything that is said to be coming for the parasite is actually coming for the parasite. The parasite is the word, it's the virus program. It's this spelled language, the symbology, the use of eyes before senses. So we have Ra in the background. And to replace the trident, we have the three-headed dragon, which we call a Ragoon. Very specifically, because they're Ragoons. Okay? Just like they call gangsters thugs, they call them goons. And what? Goblins? Yeah. Well, all these things belong to Ra. It's a matter about the horrifying, parasitic, unagreeable face that they carry. That's all part of the spell. That's also that we do not have any say over our entitlements. See, we're entitled for the ethers to wake up and activate and heal itself, right? We're entitled for the parasite authority to sow on and cease to have say. You understand? Parasite authority soon cease to have say. Soon this happens to be Ra, so on. So parasite authority, Ra, cease to have say. Ra seizes their say. And what do we have here? We have that very trident with the prohibited. This means this is not allowed by Ra. Okay, we know this now. We know this prohibited signature, the sigil, is a sign to say Ra does not agree. It's not agreeable to Ra. Okay, because this is the circle, right, of Ba'am. Okay, which Ra is the center. There's a line going through. So anything in the center is not allowed. Because Ra takes up that center. Right? You can put a chicken, you can put a horse. Anything you put in this circle with the line is to tell you, like we are being programmed, it's disallowed. But I'm showing you that Ra has the authority. Doesn't matter how it, has been flipped and all these types of stuff to try to hide that reality. Okay? I remember, and I am bringing everything back out into the light or into the rays so we can rise. Ra. We go to En-ep-pa-on. So we know of the demon Pan. And Pan is the same as Legion. Whereas Pan is a multiple of demons. Just like in a pan, you put multiple different types of ingredients. And then you put that on a fire and you cook it. So that means to burn it out. And so we just caught another mirror flip because they want to associate the devil, which is disagreeable to Ra, to fire. But yet it is actually the opposite. It's cold. It doesn't move. It's still. It's frozen. So the pan is actually going to be reversed and the demons will be frying. Pan will be frying. This is the code. The entity to compile the parasite on. This is Pan. The entity entitled to compile, to capture Pan. The parasite life forms, Paons. Not Maons, Paons. That means they are souls that have become parasite. We are now talking about the seas. So the seas is the bodied of the severed. If we go by sound and we relate it to the symbol, the letter C. Just like when you're looking at something, they tell you that you're seeing it because as a parasite, you're supposed to remove it from source. That's your mission as a parasite, to seize the ore. Okay, so to seize it means to have it. Remove it from its soul. Remove it from its source. This is why it's associated with when things cease to have say, like stop, cease to exist. Because without soul, it has no say, so it has been stopped. So again, the mirror flip, reversing it right back on them. Parasite authority soon cease to have say. Even when I was creating this is the very first time I did a Ta'angodu word using a negative code. But then I realized what Ra was having me do. He put the instructions in that code, right? The entity entitled to compile on. Let's just see how we got there, right? We have Neptune. Okay, so we have negate, right? We have EP equals compile. How do I get that? Well, when you're keeping something, that means you're holding something. When you're heaping something, that means like you're hoarding something. Okay? When you have sheep, that's a herd of something. When you're taking a leap, okay, you're moving, you're jumping over something. Okay, so by using examples on how it is used, right, in our society, you can come to the conclusion that EP means to compile, right, but not PE, which is pent. So that means to conceal, to keep closed, right? This EP is like to continue, right? It means to compile, but like you also have the word episode, right? So an episode is a compilation of a bunch of movies or whatever to come, right? It's one in a series. It's one in a pile. Okay, so that's another example of why I came to the conclusion that EP when I was breaking down my formula, because I have a full formula. I know I have combinations of sounds and spellings that are very consistent that I can just refer to and use like a calculator, because that I'm doing true math. True math is working with sounds, not dead things, because we're dealing with Ma ether. That's what math is. It's Mathor. Okay, so once again, the devil has taken the etheric names and using them to wield the dead things, but that's no more. Okay, so we have negate, we have compile, then we have ta, right? And then we have un, which means undo, right? So undo the thoughts. That means non-thinking, right? It negates thinking to undo. So Neptune would mean negate compiling thoughts, negate compiling and undo the thoughts. Okay, so this is like taking away your freedoms, right? You're taking away the thoughts, right? So this is a charge against Ra. Neptune is a code against Ra because it negates the compiling, it negates the continuation, right? This is what ep means. Okay, that is negated. So you can't gather, you can't steward, you know what I mean? Like that's just what it means. You can't survive, you can't sustain yourself. You can't move on. You can't evolve. There's no more episodes. So that's nep, and then tune is basically a song, right? Or a thought without sound. That's what a tune is. Because you have ta, and then you have un. The E is silent, so that's going to be ether. Right? You can't think if you don't have ether. You disconnect it. This is what it wants to do to Ra, because we're talking about ta. So ta only works when you're connected to Ra. Okay? So to reverse it, NE is negate. So when you reverse it, you have EN. You keep the EP, right? And keep the ta. And instead of un, UN, you put the ON. Because the O is a U that has its top removed. So there's no brain. So it's un. It's not on, it's un. It's like urn. It's being burnt out. It has no soul, no essence. Whatever is valuable about it has been removed. It's been undone. You could have had the word D, but then you'd have to put another sound to tell you what you're D'ing. So they just put ta on, mean no thought. Okay? So, an eptaon. Or sorry, I put the ta is thought, but I put the P to reverse the code because I wanted to be specific in what we are compiling.